The original Mini, designed by Sir Alec Isigonis in the late 1950s, was a people's car, but a very cleverly packaged one, which pioneered very many of the innovations we take for granted these days. By comparison, the modern Mini is an altogether different machine. It's larger, more sophisticated, more upmarket, and also more expensive. The most advanced member of the current Mini family is the Mini JCW GP. It's also a limited edition model. But the question is, would Sir Alec have approved? I think not. The focus of Sir Alec's groundbreaking design was simplicity, innovation and affordability. The Mini JCW GP isn't exactly cheap, and its focus is on undiluted performance. But I'm pretty sure John Cooper would have approved. He created the Mini Coopers that won the Monte Carlo Rally 3 times in the 1960s. Today, the John Cooper Works badge is to Mini what the M designation is to BMW. It epitomizes performance and exclusivity, and the JCW GP is arguably the most eye-catching of all. Love it or hate it, but the current generation Mini, also known internally as the R56, remains instantly recognizable as a Mini, even if you compare it to the old original version. This GP model is based on the JCW version of the Mini, but it sits a lot lower, it looks a lot more aggressive, and it certainly oozes performance. It may have retained the bug-eyed headlights, the grinning grille, and the short overhangs, but the GP is no ordinary Mini. The unique livery combines a deep grey body colour called Thunder Grey with red accents and stylized GP logos. There's a fixed carbon fibre roof spoiler, while the alloy rims are special lightweight designs fitted with bespoke soft compound tyres that are best described as intermediates. Even the Bilstein suspension is special and allows the ride height to be lowered by up to 20 mm for optimum handling. But does it have the muscle to match the image? Powering this Mini is the latest twin-scroll version of the venerable 1.6-litre turbo engine. In this guise, it delivers 160 kilowatts of maximum power, together with 280 newton-meters of torque on overboost. 6-speed manual gearbox is the only option here, and the power-to-weight ratio, 130 kilowatts per tonne. For a small-capacity turbo engine, the Mini's power plant ramps up the revs with an unfettered alacrity that makes nonsense of any turbo lag. Power delivery is linear, and the throttle response has a crispness that threatens wheel spin if you callous with a loud pedal. On the tight and narrow dynamic handling test track at Geratech's Vehicle Proving Ground, the Mini GP felt like an oversized racing cart on steroids. In other words, agile and very, very quick. It only takes one glance at the cabin to realize that the focus of the GP is very much on performance. Dominated, of course, by these high-backed Recaro bucket seats, and if you look closely, you'll see that there aren't any rear seats at all. It's still a very well-equipped space, quite monochromatic. I like the red stitching, which gives a little bit of colour. But of course, the only thing that's truly missing here is a roll cage. That massive dinner plate-sized central speedometer has been retained, as has the pod-shaped rev counter directly ahead of the driver. The steering wheel is a grippy, thick-rimmed device with multifunction controls, and the alloy-faced pedals look the racing part too. Still, the GP is not a stripped-out race car. The windows are electric, climate control is standard, and every creature comfort is catered for. In the absence of that rear seat, the Mini can even carry loads of luggage. The Mini JCW GP might look impressive and aggressive, but you really need to drive the car to understand what it's actually all about, because under the skin, all the changes to the suspension, the fact that it runs a different and very bespoke and softer tyre, all those really transform the way it feels, and especially if you drive it on a track. The turn-in feels sharper, there's a lot more grip, also less of a tendency to understeer, and of course it is really quick. In straight line terms, 242 kilometers an hour, the 0 to 100 time 6.3 seconds, and that certainly qualifies this car as being the fastest Mini of them all. Perhaps the biggest challenge in extracting the best from the GP is controlling and modulating throttle input. For all their grip, the front tyres start spinning if you're too forceful with the accelerator out of corners or over bumps. Finesse and precision are rewarded with high cornering speeds and kart-like chassis and steering responses. Try too hard, however, and you'll be shaving off expensive rubber off those tyres while losing some time in the process. With only 2,000 units produced worldwide, the Mini JCW GP is not only the fastest and most exciting Mini on the planet, but also the most desirable, certainly if you're a Mini fan with an appetite for performance. But the bad news is that only 30 of these cars have made it to South Africa, and naturally, all 30 have been sold. However, given its looks, its heritage and its enthralling dynamics, the JCW GP will always be remembered as the ultimate road-going production Mini, until a new one comes along. Don't be fooled by the modest engine size. A combination of real pep and low mass allows nimble reactions and rapid sprints off the line. Add the rarity factor and a full house interior, and this GP version should be the ultimate Mini. But all examples have been sold out, and the GP might be too much of a handful for some.